Today we will be talking about cultural diversity within, or specifically on race. So the case study from the book that I chose, Case Studies on Diversity and Social Justice Education, I chose to do chapter 6, which is about race. The first case study, 6.1, is on Black Lives Matter. The teacher, Miss Simons, was in her classroom and then after school noticed that traffic was still slowed down from the protest that was 2 blocks away from school. Around 4:30 p.m. she was leaving work. The next day she came back to work and noticed a lot of students were wearing Black Lives Matter shirts as well as All Lives Matter shirts. She wanted to discuss the events that occurred in their town as well as nationally, but her colleagues advised her not to. They told her that she should just stick to academics. But what could she discuss? Could she discuss the history that they were just a part of, even just being near, just living through this? And whether they were at these protests or at school, this is still going on around them. They could talk about the history and how it will be in history books, as well as discussing both sides of the matter, but without forming the opinion of Miss Simons. How can she make it acceptable on both sides? The history of Black Lives Matter. It began in 2013 with the hashtag Black Lives Matter. The movement grew nationally by 2014. It was 3 women who started the movement on Twitter. They originally did just Black Lives Matter without a hashtag, spaces, after the Trayvon Martin shooting and then the acquittal of the police officer. And then one of the other females that started the group decided to put it into a hashtag, which became a whole entire group that they have been celebrating each year, the foundation of the group. And they not only support Black Lives Matter, trans lives, different ethnicities and races. A quote that really stuck out to me on the Black Lives Matter website was, "For more than 500 years, Black people have been fighting for our freedom. We have fought back against slavery, black codes, Jim Crow laws, policing, incarceration, some of the highest unemployment rates, consistent homelessness, dying while giving birth, being murdered for being trans or non-binary. We have been the consistent moral compass in a country that has thrived on harming the most vulnerable of its population." This was on the BLM website under their About. And this really does, just this quote really stands out, that they have been fighting for freedom for 500 years. And with the past year, freedom is still not the same. They are still not free as the average white person would be. Some stereotypes or perceptions is first, what is a stereotype? According to the Scientific American, a stereotype is a snap judgment that we make about a person or about a thing that can influence our decision making. Milkman and Braba in paragraph 3. So an example of this would be BLM members having riots rather than protests. Particularly in Madison, Wisconsin, during the BLM protests on State Street, they were walking peacefully throughout the street, and then two girls that are considered white privileged kicked in a store window, and it was all over the media in Wisconsin that it was not Black people that were destroying, but it was in fact white people that claim they were trying to help, but you never really know at that point. A book that I like to use in my classroom is Honey Smoke by Monique Fields, as I had a student that went home one day and told her mom that she needed to wash her body because her body was dirty and that it was darker than everyone else's, so she must be dirty. So this book, Honey Smoke, is written by Monique Fields. It is a story about finding your true color. Her mom is Black and then her dad is white, and she's like, well, I'm not Black and I'm not just white. What am I? And so she wanted to make her color She colored all day. She dreamt up colors in the sky. And then it came to her. She is like the honey on her mom is like the honey from her grandparents' beehive. And then her dad was like the smoke that billows on the farm. So that's where she came up with the number honey smoke. And then on the very last page, they have all these different colors. So I like to open it up and have my students look and be like, there's terracotta clay, bronze leaf, autumn gold, arctic pearl, sun quartz, and then on the other page there are also some. But it says, colors are words, words are colors. Discover your color word. And I just think that is a great way to celebrate diversity just by a matter of, yeah, we may look different, but what else? Why does it have to be any more different than that? So how can us as teachers help? Including books that show multiple diversities. It is very important for each student to see themselves in a book or around the classroom. It makes them feel like they have a place. Having open conversations with students when asked. And even if they know what is going on around school, then ask them, what do you think of what is going on? But it is important not to share your opinion, especially if it is politically, as you don't want to have your bias become part of them getting their own bias. And then celebrating differences. We got this book, The ABCs of Black History. My boss got it for us right before Black History Month. And it talks about slavery. It talks about Rosa Parks sitting on the bus. It talks about the celebration of jazz music, important figures. And it's all A through Z, all of it. Hair love, celebrating how our hair is different, and then All Are Welcome is a really great book celebrating diversities, different races, different abilities, different cultures, but how all of us are welcome in one place. And it is a teacher's job to, I guess, teach the students that there are differences, but that the differences do not make anyone any less or any more. Because it is up to us as a new generation of teachers to create a better generation than there was before us or than our generation. And then these are my references.